High-sodium processed foods, including canned soups, packaged meals, deli meats, chips, and frozen dinners, pose a serious and often underappreciated danger for individuals with diabetes. While these foods may not always cause immediate blood sugar spikes like sugary items, their high sodium content creates a cascade of metabolic and cardiovascular stress that indirectly, but significantly complicates diabetes management. Excessive sodium intake is strongly linked to the development and worsening of hypertension, a condition that already disproportionately affects diabetics. When blood pressure rises, it strains the cardiovascular system, damages blood vessels, and increases the risk of heart attack, stroke, and kidney disease, complications that are already heightened in diabetes. For diabetics, the combination of high blood sugar and elevated blood pressure is particularly dangerous. Chronically high sodium intake promotes water retention and increases vascular resistance, which elevates blood pressure and places additional stress on the heart and kidneys. The kidneys, already vulnerable due to potential diabetic nephropathy, must work harder to filter excess sodium, accelerating renal damage and contributing to chronic kidney disease. As kidney function declines, glucose regulation can become more difficult. Insulin clearance may be impaired, and the risk of metabolic complications rises. In this way, high-sodium foods indirectly but powerfully destabilize overall diabetes management. Processed foods are especially concerning because their sodium content is often hidden or underestimated. Even foods that do not taste overtly salty, such as bread, sauces, snack bars, or breakfast cereals, can contribute significantly to daily sodium intake. Regular consumption of these products can easily push sodium levels well above recommended limits, creating persistent hypertension that silently accelerates vascular and organ damage. For diabetics, each additional milligram of sodium is not trivial. The cumulative effect exacerbates microvascular and macrovascular complications, including retinopathy, neuropathy, and cardiovascular disease. High-sodium processed foods also tend to be calorie-dense and nutrient-poor, promoting weight gain, particularly in the form of visceral fat. This further worsens insulin resistance, creating a compounding metabolic challenge. Excess weight and hypertension together magnify the risk of diabetes-related complications, including heart disease and stroke. Moreover, the combination of sodium, refined carbohydrates, and hidden sugars in many processed foods amplifies their overall metabolic burden, destabilizing blood pressure and glucose simultaneously. Psychologically, processed foods' convenience and taste can reinforce habitual consumption patterns. Diabetics may underestimate the harm because high sodium does not produce an immediate glucose spike, unlike sugary foods. This delayed effect makes sodium a silent but potent contributor to disease progression. Over time, frequent consumption establishes a chronic state of vascular stress, renal strain, and cardiovascular risk, undermining attempts to maintain metabolic control even when blood sugar is otherwise managed effectively. The long-term consequences of high-sodium diets in diabetics are severe. Persistent hypertension accelerates arterial stiffness, damages endothelial function, and increases oxidative stress, all of which amplify the risk of heart attack, stroke, kidney failure, and mortality. When combined with diabetes, high sodium intake magnifies vascular injury, destabilizes glucose regulation indirectly, and complicates medication management, particularly antihypertensives and insulin. Even moderate excess intake over time can have profound cumulative effects, making high-sodium processed foods a critical risk factor that is too often overlooked in diabetes care. In conclusion, high-sodium processed foods are a significant hidden threat for individuals with diabetes. By promoting hypertension, exacerbating kidney stress, and contributing to vascular damage, they indirectly worsen glucose control and accelerate diabetes-related complications. Their pervasive presence in the modern diet, combined with their often hidden sodium content, makes them particularly dangerous. Avoiding or strictly limiting these foods is essential for maintaining metabolic stability, protecting cardiovascular and renal health, and preventing the long-term complications that compromise quality of life and longevity. Each serving of high-sodium processed food may not spike blood sugar immediately, but its cumulative effect on blood pressure and organ function is profound, silent, and dangerous.